and gentlemen, welcome to Coleman Area Conference Basketball on Channel 6 PHHS. Tonight we're at Port Huron High School as the Big Reds take on their crosstown rivals, the Port Huron Northern Huskies. This is Randy Fernandez along with Sean Quigley, bringing you all the action of tonight's exciting contest. But first, let's turn it over to our public address announcer for the Big Reds, Mr. Eric Rucker, for the introduction of tonight's starting lineups and the singing of a national anthem. Tonight, national anthem will be sung by sophomore Port Huron High student, Miss Kai Hayes.
Performed by Miss Kai Hayes, a sophomore here at Port Huron High School.
Oh, sing, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Okay, let's greet tonight's participants. It's our pleasure to introduce to you both the cheerleading squads from both teams. First, the visitors, the Huskies. Let's greet Bethany Fagan, Sarah Yurt, Erica Langhoff, Christina Fusco, Jenny Hawley, Bridget Bennett, Krista Richard, Chrissy Lamont, Marcy Halleck, Alicia Spencer, Katie Richard, and Melissa Allen. And now for the Big Reds, let's greet Lisa Bartlett, Jenny Michelle, Jody Baldwin, Jessie Leslie, Lisa Miller, Stephanie Sterling, Alisa Steyer, Lisa Campbell, Betsy Coleman, Tiffany Fiedler, Miranda Yelenich, Katie Conlin, and Holly Hart. Thank you, ladies, for your efforts in tonight's contest. And now our starting lineup. First for the visitors, the Northern Huskies. Wearing number 14, 6'1" senior, Matt Oliaga. Wearing number 32, 6'5" senior, Brian Edler. Wearing number 40, 6'3" junior, Matt Schuck. Wearing number 42, 5'10" junior, Trevor Weston. And wearing number 44, 6'3" senior, Rob Nestle. The Huskies are coached by Mr. Dan Hatton, assisted by Mr. Brian Jameson. And now for the Port Huron High Big Reds. Wearing number 11, 5'10" junior, Tony Washington. Wearing number 15, a 5'10" junior, Jeff Berry. Wearing number 23, 6'1" senior, Chris Case. Wearing number 31, 6'6"
Well, Sean, a little less than a month ago, Port Huron High came into Port Huron Northern and came away with a 63-47 victory. You know that Northern would like to pay them back here tonight on their home court.
They definitely would. It's strange this year that it's not a conference matchup, but that really doesn't matter a whole lot with these teams. Northern doesn't want to drop two to their crosstown rivals, there's no question, and they need to come out here and prove a little something to themselves after losing by 20 points the other night to White Division leading Fraser.
That's right, Port Huron Northern coming off a disappointing loss against the MAC White leaders Fraser. Port Huron High coming up with their first victory in the tough MAC Red with a victory over Utica Eisenhower. Opening tap goes to Northern and Trevor Weston. Weston takes it strong to the hole, no good, nice rebound, put back up by Trevor.
Put back basket, Trevor Weston.
Well, you're taught real early, Sean, in life to follow your shot, and there was a perfect example of Trevor Weston missing a shot, following up, nobody on him, laid it back in, early 2-0 lead for Northern.
That's right, the rebounding battle's going to be a big difference here tonight. Whoever can grab a hold of those boards is going to have a big advantage.
Well, speaking of the rebounding battle, to that end, Rob Nessel, who did not start when these first two teams played early on, getting the nod tonight for Northern to give more beef, and 4-0 as Adler breaks the Port Huron High press.
Trevor Weston.
Coming into this game, too, as you mentioned about Rob Nessel, I know George Mosier's noticed that. He doesn't have a lot of big, beefy players, and he needs to be concerned with big, strong guys on the other side.
Good knock away by Weston over Rosenau. Here goes shot coast to coast, a little bit short. Oliaga fight for the rebound, comes away to Jeff Barry. Weston doing a nice job defensively. Well, again, we knew it was going to be a fast pace. It's wide open as Nessel for the easy basket, but he blows it out of bounds. Should have taken his time a little bit.
Can't miss those opportunities. They had a breakaway right in front of everybody, no one around them. Got to put those home if you want to win these ball games.
Northern Port Huron High just not doing a good job getting back on the defensive end has led to early 4-0 lead for Northern.
And they haven't really taken care of the ball on their end of the floor yet either, so really nothing's working out for them yet.
Well, we played a minute and a half. Port Huron High yet to take a shot from the field. Well, whenever Port Huron High plays anybody, it's a fast-paced game as the first shot's up and good, all net by number 23, Chris Cates. And here's the famous Port Huron High full-court man-to-man pressure, which gave Northern fits in the second half.
That's
when
right.
they first tangled up earlier.
I don't think Port Huron High is too terribly concerned how far they get behind too early. They don't want it to get out of hand, but they know that they can come back. They showed that the last time these two teams played.
Number 45, Jared Ratchey.
Ratchey picks up his first, team first. Jared just a little late on that play, out of bounds underneath the east sideline, by Matt Oliaga. Nice takeaway by the Big Reds. A little bit sloppy early on. The first two times these two teams played, Northern had 23 turnovers. Port Huron High, I believe, had about 15. And we've seen a lot so far early on, just getting the jitters out.
I think that's what it is right now. They both know it's a big game. They both want to get something asserted early, but a little anxious.
Barry three-pointer, no good, out of bounds to Port Huron High off the hands of Matt Schock. First substitution, probably the best sixth man in the MAC Red Division, the leading scorer for the Big Reds, Jeremy Rogan, and he lit him up for 25, I believe, the first time these two teams play, as Rosenau tries a three and nails it.
Three-point basket, Jeremy Rosenau.
That's one thing Rogan could do too. You know Northern's going to pay attention to Rogan on the offensive end. That could open up a few other people too.
Nice steal by Cates. He'll go coast to coast, should lay it in, and he does not. Kind of look back to see Nessel coming in from behind him. As Schock can't get it to go. Big rejection that time by the Big Reds.
Nice block by Tony Washington there, right there in the middle. He got up for that one.
Both teams missing easy layups here early on here with 4:30 to go in the opening quarter. Adler takes it on strong, a little bit too strong. Nice rebound by Ratchie. Washington takes it strong to the hole. Foul Adler.
It's a good idea by Washington, though. They've had trouble getting some shots, and they've missed some easy ones. Just go right for it. They need to be aggressive. They can't worry about those missed shots early. They need to stick with what they want to do.
Jeff Giles, number 41, Cornelius Field.
Substitutions for Coach Joe's Mosier. Cornelius Field checks in the lineup, as well as number 5, Jeff Giles. Good defense by the Big Reds, almost a takeaway. Adler recovers. Got to get it up past the 10-second line.
You can bet Port Huron's going to pressure Northern all night long trying to get those turnovers. They know Northern has a tendency to make turnovers.
Put back basket, Rob Nessel.
Nessel, that's why he's in there for his bulk and rebound. He came away and put up a nice left-hander. 7-6 our score, just under 4 minutes remaining, opening quarter here from Port Huron High School.
Jeremy Rogan.
Instant offense. Rogan hits his first shot of the night.
That's what he does, just penetrates and pulls up.
Wide open, Oliaga lays it up and good. Matt Oliaga.
Rested by Matt Oliaga from Brian Edler.
Again, Port Huron High, Sean just not doing a good job getting back on defense.
Getting careless. They're very concerned trying to get the turnovers, but if they don't get the turnovers, they're putting themselves in a dangerous position.
Nice defense by Nessel. Not a good pass. Can't throw it that long. Weston backs in on Giles. Won't go. Rebound Adler. Wide open match shot from 15. In and out. Rebound Field.
It'll be interesting watching Field down there with Nessel. Those two guys are pretty similarly built fellas, and they could bang a little bit.
Good defense by Adler. Knocked it away. Shot's going to go coast to coast. One man to beat. Nice block against the backboard by Cornelius Field. Brings the crowd to its feet on the Big Red side.
It's two straight good, strong defensive plays for Fields down under the Northern basket.
Got to be a foul that time. Probably going to call it on Weston. Probably could have called it on Oliaga a little bit earlier. Matt got away with one, but I believe they're going to call it on Trevor Weston.
They're trying to catch up with Jeff Giles, who's a pretty quick player too. Port Huron High's got a few quick players, and Northern's going to have its troubles keeping up with those guys. If they're not careful, you already see a couple of guys breathing a little bit heavy. They need to keep moving their feet and not reach like what just happened there.
Coach Han's first substitution tonight, number 12, Chris Manulo.
Number 33, Chris Serra.
And number 30, Ryan Cogley. Interesting that he's giving Trevor Weston a break. Trevor picked up his first foul in the first game. One of the reasons Northern had a hard time was Trevor Weston got in early foul trouble, had to sit on the bench for most of the first half, even though Northern led. Good decision, I think, early on here. Give him a little break after picking up the first one. 2 1/4 to go in the opening quarter, 9-8 our score.
And I think they also wanted to talk to him a little bit about how to handle that pressure backcourt. I'm sure they practiced it and they've talked about it a lot before tonight. But once you get in a game situation, it's nice to sit down and get a few reminders about how to attack it.
Rogan with the 2 from the charity stripe. 3-point lead by the Big Reds. Pressure defense by the Big Reds turns into a turnover. Nice block from behind by Cogley. Wide open Giles though. Good defense that time by Northern, but Johnny on the spot was Giles, and he nailed it from the free throw line extended. Turnover again by Port Huron High. Nice move by Barry, goes baseline, lays it up. Foul's going to be on Cogley out front before the shot.
Getting a timeout coming up here for Northern. I think they're going to talk about this pressure a little bit more, maybe at Weston back on the court.
Northern foul.
Good point, Sean. Again, that's why you got to have Trevor out there most of the time. You don't really need Trevor Weston to score, maybe get his 4-6 points a game, but he's the floor general, and without Trevor Weston, Northern's in trouble. Well,
Northern really didn't have a confident player handling the ball when Weston was on the bench, and they need somebody to step up and just show the confidence. You might have a little bit of turnover trouble yet, but you need to have somebody that wants to attack that press. And you saw early, Northern was getting some breakaways. They just haven't converted enough of them to this point.
Well, again, with that timeout, we've got 1:59 to go. With our score, Port Huron High 13, Port Huron Northern 8. Glad to see a packed field house here tonight, Sean, especially with the Border Cats playing home and with the Miami Dolphin cheerleaders in town. I know McMorrin's going to be rocking and rolling there with about 3,000 people, but Port Huron Northern, at Port Huron High, it's standing room only.
Yeah, it's nice to see it packed inside, but I didn't like it in the parking lot. I had a long walk with all those cars.
It is frigid outside here in the Blue Water Wonderland, I'll tell you. Wind chill 25 below, but it hasn't stopped the people from coming out. And I tell you, every time I see a crowd like this, I just wish every Northern High game, no matter who they played, had a crowd like this. It would really, I think, helps the players to have the fans behind them. And nobody likes to play in front of 100 people when, you know, you probably got, what, 600-700 people in here tonight.
Right. Players can see that people are pulling for them, want to see them do well. And, of course, they're always interested in beating a crosstown rival.
Again, this is not a division game since Northern is the MAC white and Port Huron High is in the MAC red. Quite a difference, Sean, because in football it's just the other way around. Northern's in the MAC red and High's in the MAC white. I don't know how they do that. Maybe you as a Times Herald reporter could fill our audience in later how you can flip-flop with each thing, but someone would have to bring me up to date on that.
We're going to need a few athletic directors to help explain this whole thing. From sport to sport, it gets a little confusing.
Good defense that time by Oliaga to knock it out of bounds. Got a foul underneath the offensive glass on the Big Reds. It's on number 41, Cornelius Field.
41, Cornelius Field. His first, team second.
Rosenau is going to check in
Big
for
Red
Giles.
substitution, number 31, Jeremy Rosenau.
It's interesting that the foul came when Port Huron High had sort of slowed it down a little bit. They almost seemed a little bit uncomfortable in the half-court set. Things have been going to their quick pace so far. When it slowed down a little bit, it seemed to throw them off.
Offensive foul by Nessel. I thought he did a good job taking it to the hole, but the referee, Malcolm Pennington, saw it a different way. Saw the Port Huron High had established a defensive stance, and it goes the other way. Field from 15, in and out. Nice rebound by Nessel. Adler, who's been quiet, brings it up. Ryan, who had 21 the first time these two teams met, held scoreless so far here in the opening quarter. Manuel uses the glass, gets the kind roll.
Northern basket, Chris Manuelo.
Manuel with his first 2 points tonight. Port Huron High by 3, 13-10, 45 seconds to go as Rogan tries the tray, nails it.
3-point basket.
See that one come. He was
Jeremy
wide
Rogan.
open, all alone, no one near him when he caught and squared up and sent it.
Rogan with 7 of the 16 Big Red points. And we've got a good defensive pressure by number 33, Chris Sarai.
There you can see a little bit of an experience on the Huskies' part. You had Brian Adler bringing the ball up all by himself, no one back to help him out. You didn't have any outlet to throw the ball to.
We got a little wet spot on the floor we got to take care of here. Let's see if, normally I'd say Port Huron High with a 6-point lead. Most teams would hold for the last shot with only 27 seconds, but knowing these two teams, we'll probably get about 4 or 5 shots off before the end of the quarter.
Especially if you see Jerry Morogan with the ball. If he sees an open shot, he's confident enough to take it regardless of what the clock says.
One player again. If I'm Coach Dale Voss of the Community College Skippers, I gotta try to take a flyer on Jeremy Rogan next year as a shooting guard for the Skippers.
You know Dale Voss likes those three-point bombers too, so I have a hunch he's going to keep his eyes peeled to what Rogan's doing this season.
Northern foul, number 3, Ryan Cogley. His
Matt
second,
Schock
team
and
six.
Trevor Weston will come back in with 13 seconds to go.
Northern substitutions, number 40, Matt Schock.
That's the only thing I don't understand. I think they're looking for offense here because they're on their free throw, but you'd hate to see Trevor Weston pick up his second foul so late in the first quarter. But let's see what the strategy works. That's why I'm up here and I'm not down there.
Yeah, well, they have struggled. You almost hate to sort of let this time pass by also because things are going Port Huron High's way right now. You don't want to let that go too terribly long. In 13 seconds, you hope that Trevor Weston's smart enough not to put himself in a foul position.
Barry hits the pair. Fine free throw shooting here in the first quarter by the Big Reds. Adler can run the baseline if he wants to, gets it into Weston. Oliaka wide open, should have the layup, and he does.
Terrific outlet pass from Weston as well. He led him, he didn't have to wait for the ball, he had it going to the hoop.
Strong move by Barry to count if it goes, and it does!
Busted, Jeff Berry.
Jeff Barry took it to the hole and beat the buzzer.
Big Reds, 20.
And at the end of the first 8 minutes of action, our score, Port Huron High 20, the Big Reds 12. Well, Sean, this will give us a chance to maybe take a breath and have you fill in the audience of some other games that are going on tonight in and around the Blue Water area.
Boy, I'll tell you, an interesting one that pops out at us right away is in the Southern Thumb Association. New Haven at Brown City. Brown City's coming off a tough loss at Memphis. They're expected to be one of those teams that can challenge New Haven. New Haven far and away has the most talented team in the area, not necessarily the most disciplined team in the area, and the way Brown City plays strong, tough defense against everybody, they have a chance of knocking off New Haven at home. Other interesting game, you have Imlay City at Marysville. Big game in that MAC Blue Division. Marysville's been playing strong. Their only loss was to Port Huron High in the opener. 2-point loss, and they've come on strong. They've got a lot of quick players, and that could be a good matchup.
Sean, let's talk about that New Haven team.
Number 23, Chris Tate.
I haven't seen them play. I know you and Rick Jahaki and Jimmy Weimer and all the other sports people there at the Times Herald. Is that the team in the county? I mean, I see they're rated number 3, I think, in Class C, but even though we've got 2 Class A or AA schools going here tonight, is New Haven the class this year of the Blue Water area?
They really are, because they've really got everything. They've got strong guards that can score. They've got some big, beefy players down low. Matt Murphy, 6'5", made a verbal commitment to play football at the University of Maryland. Strong team all around.
And we just traded baskets. On the one end, it was Chris Sarai getting his first bucket. And are they going to count the bucket by Cogley? It looks like they're going to wave it off, and Northern will just inbound underneath the north basket. Northern looking to square things tonight also because, Port Huron High is looking to square things tonight because Port Huron Northern's JV team came away victorious earlier tonight with a 55-47 decision. Congratulations to Coach Gary Nesbitt and the Port Huron Northern JV basketball team. Another turnover on Northern's plagued them all season long. Coach Hant and Coach Jamison have worked on it in practice, but again, they don't play the games for the boys. They got to do it themselves.
That's right. And you can see even in the half-court game, Port Huron High has a pressure mentality. They're right up in the face of the Northern ball handlers.
Barry just inside the three-point arc, won't go. Rebound shot stripped away by Tony Washington. No call underneath, and referee Pennington's got a whistle finally. They're letting them play, Sean. I saw a couple of bumps underneath there, but I like that. Let them play. No harm, no foul.
Right, and it's certainly going to help an active player like Tony Washington. Like you saw him ripping a ball right out of the hands of a Northern player. He's the kind of guy that likes to get in the middle there and scrap a little bit.
Shock from 10, too strong. Rebound, Aller tries to go over Sarai, can't do it. Fight for the rebound. Comes away to the Big Reds, 3-on-1, only Cogley back. Barry takes it strong. Circus move. I don't know if that was a play, but he made the basket, and that's all that counts. Beautiful. That's a highlight film right there.
It really is. I really thought he would have made a better decision to pass it off because the defender stayed right with him. But, hey, if you get it to go, who's to question?
Big Red foul number 11, Tony Washington. That's his
And on
first
the other end,
team
Mad
shift.
Shock takes it up strong, and he'll go this
Big
line
Red
to shoot
substitution
two.
number 45, Jared
Now, one of the
Gretchen.
reasons, Sean, that Port Huron High is trailing by 10, their
Mad
two leading
Shock
scorers,
shoots two.
Matt Shock, who averages about 16 points a game, and Brian Adler, who averages about 13 points a game, did not have any points so far tonight until Shock made that free throw.
Yeah, they really need to get those guys going. Get the ball into Matt Shock's hands however you can.
Matt Shock, one of the Times Herald Sports People of the Week, according to your newspaper. I think that was in Wednesday night's edition.
He had a solid week last week for Northern. He's been playing well.
Jared
And when you get a kid
Gretchen.
playing well like that, you got to keep going to him.
Ryan Cogley, spin move underneath, can't get it to go. Rebound Shock, too strong, in and out. Cogley again, it'll count, and he'll go to the line to shoot the three-point play.
Ryan Cogley.
Cogley, who had a whale of a ball game coming off the bench
Big Red
against
foul,
these
number
same
11,
Big
Tony
Reds
Washington.
earlier on in the
Second,
season.
team six.
For a guy that did not make the team last year, comes back as a senior, tries out, makes the team. Getting quality minutes, probably has
For
about
Big
the
Red, number 25, Jeremy Rogan. Number
second
41
player off the
for
bench,
Julius
first or second player off the bench. Ryan doing a nice job with his hustle and his intensity.
He's been active inside, and that's what they need. They really got to battle for each board, each loose ball. There's going to be plenty of loose balls tonight. We've already seen that. So whoever's going to go after it, you want to leave those people on the court.
Barry goes up strong against Weston. It's going to be waved off. Foul on Trevor Weston. His second, team seventh, and Port Huron High will be in the bonus the remaining 6
Northern
minutes
foul number
of
42,
the opening
Trevor
quarter.
Weston, his second,
And that
team
hurts a little
seventh.
bit too, that
Red
with a
now
lot of
in the
time
bonus.
left, I should
Jeff
say,
Barry will shoot
if High
one
commits
and one.
another foul too, both teams will be shooting free throws the rest of the way in.
I don't think Port Huron High is too worried about it. They've been shooting well from the free throw line.
Well, Port Huron High is going to pick up a lot of fouls on the offensive end because they do take it strong to the hole. And normally they're a little quicker than the players, and Northern other teams have trouble, so they foul them, send them to the line, and they're a very good free throw shooting team, as Mr. Barry just pointed out by making both of them. Another turnover by Northern.
Substitution for Northern. Number
Rob
44,
Nessel's going to check in
Rob
for
Nessel.
Ryan Cogley. Barry really asserting himself on the offensive end, even though that one can't go. Three-pointer by Rosenau, too strong, rebound Adler.
Port Huron High players do have a little bit of a tendency not to make necessarily the best decisions on their shot selections. Barry was he had his body twisted going in for that layup, and he might have been better off to dish it off.
Number 20, Greg Smith, sees his first action tonight for Coach Hanton. And again, you've got to get Adler and Shock off the snide there and get them into the offensive flow.
Big Red substitution,
You know, that's the
number
thing that
23,
I've
Mike
noticed
Galvin.
when Adler scores and if Shock doesn't score, as Adler tries to go up and he'll shoot two. Northern is so-so. When Shock scores a lot, nobody else scores or so-so. But when both of them can get into sync, Trevor can give them the ball. You know,
Big red foul,
everybody
number
wants to
25,
score, but
Jeremy
you've got to
Rogan.
know
His
your
first
role. And I think
team
that's
seventh.
a hard thing a lot of times for kids to understand, that you know, you're going to have one or two or maybe three scorers. You got to have a rebounder. You got to have an assist man. And if everybody would just know their role and play to their capability, you have a successful season.
That's true, and you also have to really understand the flow of the game. Right now, Northern is doing a good job. They've got some open shots down low. They've got to get the ball to those players on the back door. they've got to recognize when they're there. If they fool around passing around the perimeter, they're going to miss some opportunities.
Well, I think what they're looking at is the roof of the gymnasium, which could be leaking. Again, it is very cold outside. It looks like Trevor West is going to act as head custodian and take things to his own hands there. And it's right at midcourt where they have the jump balls. There's really not much you can.
Can't put a bucket right there in that spot, that's for sure. We've got Ken Semmelsberger, the Port Huron High Athletic Director, out talking with the referees, trying to determine what they can do to keep this game safe for the players. That's the primary concern right now.
You've probably got about, what, I don't know, a foot or two of snow up on the roof. It's a flat roof. Again, it's not the summertime when you can quickly get some tar and get up there and patch the hole, but you are right, the safety of the player is the most important thing, and again, if it was in the corner or somewhere, but right in the heart of the midcourt there, kind of the worst place you could have a wet spot here. So we're going to take a little break here with 5:17 to go, and again, our score 28-18. You know, you talked about New Haven. I've been impressed with Marysville. You know, K-Pac's a good team. They would have been better, except Ron Jeffrey transfers over with his coach.
Memphis, actually, right.
Excuse me, Memphis. Thank you. And you know, he would have made Memphis that much better, but he has really turned around the new coach, Tom Valco, and Jeffries have really turned around that Marysville program.
And that's a little bit surprising. They lost a lot of their taller players, a lot of their inside players from last season. Jason Pierce, a good, strong inside player, now playing football at Eastern Michigan University. Brian Guizdala, good post player. Now they're really relying on a lot of small, quick players. Ron Jeffrey, though, at 6'2", very active, good leaper. He gives them a little bit of an inside presence, even though he's more of a guard-type player.
And don't you think Valco's helped that program a little bit?
Oh, no question about it. The players understand at this point that the discipline it takes to play the game, especially having to play the style that they do, a quick pressuring style. They need to make smart decisions, and Tom Valco's got them doing that.
Again, 28-20 our score. Big Riz with 8-point lead. They've led throughout the ball game. 4.5 remaining in the opening half as Schock nails a three.
3-point basket, Matt Schock.
Schock's first bucket of the night, but it's a big one as it's a tray. Cuts the lead to 5.
Got a little bit of a half-court trap here by Northern, and Schock turns it into a steal.
Schock against Rogan. Rogan lets him go. He lays it in.
Northern basket, Matt Schock.
And just like that, Port Huron Northern has cut a 10-point deficit to 3. Wide opens Barry. Can't get it to go. Nice box out by Nessel. Over the back, Cornelius Field.
Very nice play underneath the boards by Nessel. Just held his ground. Cornelius Field had to go right over his back. No way Field was going to get that ball. He's just got to maybe hope Nessel drops it if he wants to get it. Other than that, don't touch him.
And again, Rob Nessel knows his role on the team. It's not to be the 20-point man, but I'm sure Coach Hammond would like about a dozen rebounds a game for him. And he did a nice job there. There is no way that Cornelius Field could get after him. He had to follow him over the back. Gets a chance to shoot 1-on-1 in the bonus.
It was a classic box out. Every player on the floor should have seen that and tried to imitate it from here on out.
Nessel unofficially tonight with 3 points, cuts it to 2. I did not do a good job boxing out the shooter. Schock for 3, in and out. Rebound, Nessel puts it back up and good. Rob Nessel. And we're tied at 28. I think if Port Huron High can't do anything here, and if Northern scores, Coach Mosier needs a timeout.
So often you see the defense really turn on the offense, and that's what's happened here. Northern went to that half-court trap, and PHI has struggled in the offense and hasn't been able to make the transition back to defense.
Rob Nessel with the Ricky Mahorn moves underneath, just muscling inside, gives Port Huron Northern their their second lead of the game. They led 4-0. After that, it's been all high, but Nessel puts the Huskies up by 2 with 3 minutes to go.
Oh, another steal.
And good hands by Rosenau. And again, I really do think Port Huron High needs a timeout, and they do call one.
Taking their first.
As Port Huron Northern has gone on a 10-0 run, and they lead by 2 with a score of 30-28. And you're right, Sean, they got Matt Schock a little bit more involved, but the defensive turnaround has led to some easy baskets.
Created some excellent shot opportunities at the other end. If they weren't getting a layup off of the steals, they were getting some open three-pointers for Schock. And even when they didn't connect on those three-pointers, they put themselves in a position to get the rebounds. Again, the rebounding is going to be so important. George Mosier, coming into the game, was concerned about the factor that Rob Nessel would have on the game, and we're seeing it right now. Nessel has taken over with a little help from Matt Schock.
Well, last night in high school hockey action, these two teams tangled once again in McMorran. The first two, this was the third time. Would the third time be the charm for Port Huron High? It was not, however, as Port Huron Northern came away victorious once again. But a hard-fought 1-0 victory, and from what I read in your paper, Sean, basically kind of was a fluke goal.
Right, it was. It went off the skate of a Port Huron High player, and that's so frustrating. You want to have your defensive players back there helping you protect the goal, and every now and again a sort of fluke thing like that happens. It's just too bad that had to be the only goal of the game, and that made the difference.
Well, Coach Wagner went with that defensive trap, and it almost worked the prevention, but Northern and Coach Darren McCarroll came away with a 1-0 victory. Port Huron Northern leading their hockey league as they head in another month or so down to the Flint IMA for regional action.
That's right. They've got a young team this year, that Northern hockey team, but they're playing fairly well.
Rogan from outside, not good. The thing about that shot there is Rogan is probably the best pure shooter on the court as Barry shot goes in and out. But High's not setting any picks for Jeremy. He's trying to do it on his own, and every time he touches the ball, Northern's getting 2-3 guys on him. There's got to be somebody open.
Exactly.
But I think you got to free up Jeremy Rogan a little bit here. He hasn't scored in quite a while.
That's right. And he's got to recognize, too, when he's got those two players. He started penetrating. Two people immediately came to him. Like you said, somebody's open. He's got to kick it back out.
Still by Nessel. I'll tell you, he's played a whale of a ball game offensively and specifically defensively tonight is Rob Nessel. Nessel's the cutter, in and out. Good hustle by Oliaga, push on Barry. Looked like Matt Oliaga was trying to do one of those college moves where you go out of bounds and call timeout to save it. But he got shoved by Jeff Barry.
Terrific hustle by Oliera. That's the kind of thing you see when a couple of baskets start going. The kids, they put forth just that little extra effort. They want to keep that momentum on their side. They want to keep the ball. They're feeling confident that when they've got the ball, they're going to score. Right now, they've got a chance to do it from the line.
Oliaga with 4 points tonight, steps to the line. Again, Northern by 2, 1:59 to go in the opening half. Both these teams have done a much better job shooting free throws here tonight than in the previous game. Early on in the season, of course, that was the second game of the season. Both teams are shooting about 30% from the charity stripe. You know what I mean? You've got to be at least 60% in high school. You should even be better than that. Both teams are tonight.
And knowing that it's going to be a quick-paced game if Port Huron High has its way, and there are going to be a lot of pressure fouls, you got to be prepared to step up to that line and convert your free throws.
You know, one thing is after this game, both teams got to be tired because they just full court man-to-man pressure all the way down. Oliaga pass from Weston won't go. Rebound Nessel. Kicks it back out to Schock for 15. In and out, won't go. Rebound Sarai.
I have a hunch for one player right now, at least Rob Nessel isn't at all tired the way he's playing. He's into the game. He's got some adrenaline pumping.
Little sloppy underneath, wide open, Rosenau for three. Shotgun a rebound.
I think Port Huron High needs to go to something on offense that'll get them a better opportunity closer to the basket. They've relied on jumpers for the last few minutes, and they haven't been going.
Not a good foul that time by Nessel. He knew it as he pushed Rosenau from behind. Nessel picks up, I believe, only his second foul.
Northern foul.
But again, that'll send High to the charity
That's his
stripe.
second and the team's 8th.
Well, Jared Rathje now will have a chance to break a 14-0 run for Port Huron Northern.
Well, Port Huron High's been stuck on 28 from as long as I can remember. I believe you're right. I think it was, last time I looked, it was 28-18 High. Now it's 32-28.
That's right.
Jared Ratchey, one of the top football players in St. Clair County this year, makes the free throw.
Selected as our player of the year for all that he did for the Big Reds. Such a versatile player, all-around player. As much as he does in the offensive backfield for them, I think he was even better in the defensive backfield.
You don't know if he's going anywhere next year, do you, Sean?
Haven't heard any specific plans for him as of yet.
Just a good all-around kid from what I understand from talking to Coach Semmelsberger.
Solid student.
Under a minute to go, Northern by 3. Rogan double teamed again. Again, Northern doing a good job against Jeremy Rogan. Rogan unofficially with 7 points. If I'm Northern, I'm holding for last shot. I'm going to the locker room at least with a lead by 3.
Definitely. I mean, it would be so easy to see Port Huron High get an easy 3-point shot, give them a little emotional lift going in right now. If I'm Northern, you got that big lead. You just had a 14-0 run. Make sure you go into halftime with a lead.
A lot of time here with 25 seconds to go. Nice give and go to Shock. He lays it up at good. Credit the pass to Trevor Weston, the basket by Shock.
Trevor Weston.
Unofficially 9 points here in the first half by Matt Shock. All coming in the second quarter.
And that's really the difference right now in the two teams. Matt Shock easy laying a 2-foot shot.
And we've got a push underneath by Barry. We're going to go the other way.
Northern foul, number 40, Matt Schott. His first team.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was on Barry, and so did he.
The Northern bench was clapping. They felt good about everyone going the other way, but the rest
wasn't
halted
I don't need to
everybody.
clean my glasses. It wasn't just me.
No, you weren't the only one.
2 big free throws here late in the first half by Barry. Northern's got a lot of time to get a shot off. 7 seconds, got to give it up. Not a good pass that time by Aller, stolen away. 3-point shot before the buzzer, won't go by Rogan. And our score to half. The Big Reds 29, the Huskies 34.
At this time,
We'll be back with third quarter action after
players
these
report
commercial
to
messages.
The end of the gymnasium near the school. The Central and Chippewa basketball players report to the end of the gymnasium towards the school.
Thanks, Sean. I think it's going all right.
Yeah, stepping on your toes a little bit.
Oh, it happens. Like I say, I don't get paid for this, so it's just something I do. If I was any good at it, I wouldn't be doing these. Like Eric Rucker got me doing this about 6 years ago, and then he dropped out, and I got David Keys, a friend of mine who's a local attorney in town. And then we do the girls and the boys. The girls is tough to do because even when we have good teams, there's like 10 people in the stands. It's just tough to do. Ask George. I like doing his games, but it's just tough to do when there's only 10 people in the stands. Now David's from Marlette. He tells me girls basketball in Marlette. These are the crowds you get in the thumb, I
Back
guess.
in Central.
Yeah.
Did you have a note?
I saw the note as we discussed it.
Okay.
And you know, we're gonna discuss it again in the third
Well, I
quarter.
wanted to help you out. You know, I mean, these things are things you have to know.
Professional relationship, boys.
Courtesy.
I thought you were doing it again in the Because I was going to ask you, I was going to go, has technology improved where you don't need any equipment? I thought maybe you guys had something in your...
No, because of hockey.